the summer of love.
Alright, what's up, everybody? It's Broke here. Today we're back for another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, and for today's deck profile we're doing Paleo Frogs, one of the best budget decks at this format. And whereas you might be looking at this deck, seeing the 3 Ash Blossoms, the Grinder Golem, and the card of Demise, you might be thinking, well, how can this possibly be a budget deck? Well, if you haven't heard already, all of those cards, including the Raigeki, are getting reprinted in the new Kaiba collection box, so they're going to be much more affordable than they were previously, and it'll be a lot easier to get your hands on them. So this is definitely a budget deck, and it's a really good contender, as we saw a lot of Paleos in YCS. Bokum doing well. I don't think there were any tops, but I know that there were quite a few in day 2. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump right into this deck profile, starting with, of course, those 3 Ash Blossoms that I mentioned. It's just a requirement for playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Ash Blossom is just too good of a card to not be playing, especially in a control-based deck. Then we have a 1 Grinder Golem. This is to sort of make outs to big monsters, because that's something that this deck struggles with, getting over big monsters, so that's what he's for. Then we have 3 Swap Frog. This is for our combo plays. You can special summon him by discarding, say, your Ronin Totem, then you could just use Ronin Totem to, get out another dude and then go for totally awesome first turn. Ooh, yeah, geez, because Ronin Totem can special summon himself, and we run 3 of him as well. Whenever he's in grave, you can banish another frog and special summon this guy. We'll also run 2 Dupe Frog. This is the card that you're going to want to special summon off of Totally Awesome's effect, because while he's on the field, your opponent cannot target other monsters for attacks, and whenever he's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a frog monster to your hand. So, really good card. We run 2 of him. We only run 3 because we really don't want to see him in our opening hand. Next we have 3 Card of Demise. This is one of the best cards in the deck, since we mainly run spells and traps. We don't have to worry about accidentally sending monsters to the grave, and whereas, yes, to get to our main monsters we have to special summon, getting this card early on is just absolutely glorious, because in those first few turns you might not special summon, you might just set 5 and pass. And if you have Card of Demise, you might be able to get to that set 5 and pass easier, and even get maybe a couple monsters on board. Next we have 2 Pot of Desires. This is just another really good draw card, getting to banish 10 to draw 2, and we have a card in this deck that can recover your banished card, so if you banish something that you really need, you can always just get it back. So in a sense, it's almost like a search. Alright, next up we have 2 Aquarium Stage. Water monsters you control can't be destroyed by battle with a non-water monster, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target an aqua monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So it's sort of like a little bit of recovery, and you're mainly going to use this for either your Xyz monsters or maybe your Swap Frog or Dupe Frog. But that's pretty much it. It is a really good card in my opinion, and I really like running it, but it's my personal preference, so if you don't want to run it, that's completely up to you. I have a 1 Raigeki and a Dark Hole. The Dark Hole is because you really don't mind having your own stuff destroyed, and we have an interesting card in here that can sort of play around that. We also have 3 Paleozoic Dinomiscus, because it's banish and it's pretty good. 3 Leoncolia. This is the banish recovery, so if you have any of your banished cards from Pot of Desires that you need, you can just flip this over and get them back. Then we have 3 Paleozoic Oleonoids. This is for spell trap removal. Then we have 2 Pikaia. I don't really see people running this either, but it's a draw 2 just by discarding a Paleozoic card. Then you have 2 Paleozoic Canadia, but it's a Book of Moon. Then we have 3 Torrential Tributes, because it's now at 3, which is really nice for this deck, because that means you can just constantly destroy everything. And then we have 3 Torrential Reborn. So this is a card that I don't really see a lot, and I think that it should be run more in water decks, because you could just dark hole your own field and then use this to bring everything back and deal damage to your opponent for each monster that you brought back. So it's pretty broken. Plus, whenever you do this, you'll also be getting a special summon from your Paleozoic cards. So it's a really good card, and I really think you should check it out. Next, for our extra deck, I know I'm sort of going through this a little bit fast, but it's because I'm on a tight schedule. I have some things I have to do today. Anyways, we have 3 Totally Awesome. It's the best card of the deck. It's a negate. It's a special summon. It's so good. Oh my god. So yeah, then we have 3 Opabina. He can search out a Paleozoic trap card, and he's unaffected by other monsters' effects. So that's really cool. You're going to put him in defense, and yes. Also, yeah. Alright, so next up we have 2 Anomalarchus. That's really weird. That's a really hard name to say. Why would they do that? Once again, he's unaffected by other monsters' effects. Then once per turn, if a trap card is sent from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a trap, you can add it to your hand, otherwise send it to the graveyard. Also, once per turn, you can detach a material and target a card on the field to destroy it. So it's sort of like a mini Trident almost, which is pretty good. Then we have Sky Cavalry. This is our way of dealing with a Masterpiece, because he can't be destroyed with battle. So if your opponent is stupid enough to make a Masterpiece that's immune to monster effects because it thinks that, you know, you're only going to be using your spells and traps wrong, you just use Sky Cavalry, attack into it, and then at the end phase bounce it back to their hand. However, that can be problematic, so just keep in mind that depending on what cards they have set, or if they don't have any set, then, you know, maybe you have a chance. Just make sure they don't get 2 things on the field again, because then it would have just been a waste of a Sky Cavalry. Then you have 2 Link Spiders for the Grinder Golem combo, a Miststar Boy to give everything an extra 500 attack, except that doesn't work on the Paleozoic Xyz monsters since they're unaffected by him, but it gives all of your frogs the extra 500 boost. Then we have Akashik for the Grinder Golem combo, same with the Proxy, and Borolo Dragon to finish it off. And this is also sort of one of, I guess you could consider it the ultimate boss monster of the deck, because whereas yes, Totally Awesome is the main card, and you're like ace card, this is the final form type thing, because it's your out to everything. So that's it for this deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm sorry it's rushed, but like I said, I just got stuff I had to get to do, and yeah, sort of a lot on my mind. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time, and as always, have a roaring good day.